Welcome back, everyone, to building an assault intercessor squad, part 2 of 4. Last video we built 1 sergeant. This video we're going to build 4 sergeants. Do a little bit more of an assembly line process here, because you guys like to get your characters on the board as quickly as possible. Sometimes you got to build more than one at the same time. So the few steps that we're taking different here is we're not going to glue the torsos together. We're going to kind of press them together. They have a nice tight fit. This way when I paint them, I might have some accessibility to moving them around. Again, we're also going to paint the heads separately. Last time I put the head in and then painted it all at once, so we're going to try that a little differently now that we're doing multiple. Alright, so we're doing 4 characters, so that's 4 heads, 4 rocket packs, 4 torsos. We're going to do a gray acrylic primer on all of the parts, front and back, inside and out, all the crevices. We're going to add a little black wash to the jetpack to make it look a little used from propulsion, from soots, from... we're going to add a little sky blue as the first coat on the armor. You're going to want to use your brush to go guide yourself around the edges, because we're really going to want to paint that gold later. Now you can either, depending how comfortable you are, you can either paint the webbing in the pouches before you paint the blue, depending how confident you are with the brush and how you can work up to close spaces. So this time I'm actually going to do the brown after the blue, between the 2 coats of blue. We're going to do the webbing and add a little black, a little flat brown, mix it together, get the holsters, get the belts, the webbing of all the sergeants so they can hold their weaponry. Alright, we're going to mix a little black with a little bit of the silver. We're going to do the sidearms and the chainsaws, so we get that nice kind of reflective black, nice weapon color. Alright, so now I'm going to mix a little gold with a little yellow. This is for the chest insignia. This is going to be the first coat. On the second coat I'm going to just do straight gold, but I want it to be light. I want it to pop. So we're going to start with the yellow gold mixture. Some of the base plates while these are drying. Put a gray primer on the base plates and go into little showcases for later that you'll see. Alright, now we're going with the flat blue. Give it a little bit more of a electric blue color on top of the light blue. Now I like to leave the different blues so it doesn't look too consistent, so your color kind of changes with the light. So we get some more of the light blue. Now, a lot of these have to be smooth because decals have to go on. This micromark paint is great. It applies really nice and smooth. We're going to do these heads. Now they're going to have red eyes. This is a little different than we did last time. We're going to do the head separately. Alright, now we're adding the straight gold. This has no yellow in it. This will be the gold on top of the yellow gold, just to give it that royal kind of feeling to the sergeants. Alright, now red is my favorite part. No eye drops. The blue heads have red eyes and the red heads have green eyes. We're doing the red head. He's the boss of the intercessor squad. I'm using a little bit different brush here. just so I can have a little bit more movement. Want to avoid that insignia in the middle of his head. Alright, so now we'll work on the respirators. We're using a little bit of a silver color for the piping into the respirator. It's a lot easier doing the head separately, so we're gonna press these guys together. Add a little glue to hold it. Doesn't need much because they fit really nicely together. Alright, the sergeant has a little bit more. He has got an extra shield. Alright, now we're going to work on some of the decals, the insignia markings. Alright, we're going to always put microsol on your part before you add the decal, the water slide. It allows, it softens the decal so you can manipulate it around contours. So we're just taking a micro brush here and sliding these on. Adding a little microsol to soften it. This next one is going on a highly contoured area. This one is on the knee. So we're going to have to do a lot of work with that. It's going to take about 10 minutes with some microsol and some soft brushing, soft petting on this decal to soften it up. Now it takes patience to get it done right. It's easy to do it on a flat surface, but doing it on a contour, you're going to need to actually take the time, be very patient, very light touch, and you work that decal, you work it soft, you bend it around the contour. Using small brushes and micro brushes definitely make the process easier. Alright, now we do a micro flat. This is like the final on the final process on the decals. This gives it a nice flat finish. So it looks a little bit more like the metal, less shiny, more consistent with the rest of the Intercessor squad. Now with a little dull coat spray, we'll let these dry. We're gonna work on some of the base plates now. So I'm lucky enough to have a laser cutter, so I can cut a square 1,000 times in the same shape over and over. So we're gonna use these as the base. All right, so we use that Terra Earth stone and we put it into the rock mold. We're gonna make some cliff backdrops. So we're going to take this gator foam. We're going to use the Terra Earth stone as an adhesive to secure the rock face. Alright, we're going to do a little baking here and add a little frost into this cake and put it in the crevices. We're going to mark out where the base plate's going to sit on the bottom. We're going to mask them up because we're going to do a lot of work, a lot of glue, a lot of scenery, so we don't want to interrupt where we're going to put the base plate. A little bit more Terra Earth stone. We're going to adhere this rock face. We're going to have 2 rock faces, and then we're going to have 2 without rock faces. So we're adding some to the base. This is going to be for just a boulder. I've added a little water to my finger to soften up, get some of the jagged edges off of the Terra stone. We're going to take a little Age It Easy gray. We're going to drop it onto it a little wet. That way it'll absorb nicely. It absorbs nicely when it's dry too, but you can do it as it's wet. It gives it a nice consistent feel. Alright, we're going to use a little micromark brown now, Age It Easy, to get to the bottom where vegetation is, the little staining of the rock. We're going to do some highlights. We're going to use some acrylic gray, we're going to use a little blue, we're going to use a little green. And we're going to make it look like there's organic materials growing in and off of that rock, some mold, some lichen, things like that. Alright, we're going to highlight the rocks. Always go lighter on top and darker on the bottom. Alright, I mixed a little bit of stuff with the Terra stone to give it a little color, doing some experiments. You can add pigments to it as well. We're going to prop these up at 90 degrees. And these will secure after they cure. It takes about 24 hours to cure. Alright, so now we're going with some of our organic color around the rocks, a little bit of green, a little bit of blues. Add some water to spread it around a little bit, make it look a little consistent with the weathering, the processes of weathering, like rain and wind and abrasion, sand blasting. It's all happening in nature, so you gotta simulate it here. Alright, so we're removing our mask and we're plating our base plates onto it. We're using a little super glue and a little blended turf. Some of my favorite ingredients to making scenery is the ballast cement and the detail tack. Now the tack is tacky. You can add like grass, static grass, things like that, make things stand up, make things kind of perky. The ballast cements, this is a little bit more liquid. That's good for bonding everything together once you have everything into place. It dries completely clear and in a clear finish, so you don't have any glossiness. More blended turf, cover up the base plates, trying to make it look as organic as possible. Soon our final touches, add a little bit more of the brown, age it easy, bring down the color, and just keep building layers and layers and layers. Because if you like stick your hand into the ground, there's layers of mulch and dirt and sticks and weeds and things that have died, things that are alive. So, you know, if you feel like you made a mistake, you just cover it up, just like nature. Final assembly. Get these guys on our plates, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, we'll see you next time for the third installment. We're going to be working on the Necrons, which are the enemy, and then we are also going to work on the bosses in the fourth and final installment of this series. Again, you can get everything on micromark.com that we've used in the video today. And we hope to see you again. Thank you for joining us.